Hello everyone, welcome to the By Night Studios Vampire the Masquerade Night Road playthrough. I'm your host, Elise Hawes, and I'd like to start off this episode 1, by giving a special shout out to Choice of Games for creating this Pick Your Own Path adventure. Thank you so much, Choice of Games, for doing this. A whole team we talk over on the official World of Darkness Discord server. You will find links to both the game as well as the server in the description of this video. Another housekeeping item I'd like to get out of the way is while I be reading this, I am not a professional voice actor, but I'm going to do my best. So if I mess up a word here or there, please be lenient with me, as it's not my true profession. But this is just something that I thought would be a really nice, small project for us to get through and really show the world this amazing game that's been created and get to enjoy some excellent Vampire the Masquerade content. One of the first things I'm going to do before we start is I believe there is a night mode to this. I'm going to see if I can find the black background. Yes, there it is. That is exactly what I want from this game. The black background so it is easy on the eyes and I am not staring into a white oblivion. Alright, getting settled in here. Alrighty, so starting off, Chapter 1, Just Getting By. Arizona. I-10 heading west. Night of November 1st. Sunrise, 6:41 a.m. You're getting ready to pass a diesel Mercedes when the shifter goes all loose. You jiggle the stick and pump the clutch, but it's like holding a dead man's hand. Your old Honda drifts off the highway in a cloud of sand and grit. A moment later, the engine stalls. You pop the hood and fumble around in the back for a flashlight. Then you realize that it's getting light out. You can feel that this poor car, your companion for 10 lonely years, is finished. And if you're still out here when the desert sun rises, so are you. Cars fall apart, so do people, so do phones. You pull out your old iPhone and check the time in the cracked screen. 6:05 a.m. Unlike your poor Honda or the tattered air freshener hanging from your mirror, which used to hide the smell of dried blood, you'll last forever, if you could find somewhere to hide before 6:41 a.m. You've been making these courier runs for 10 years, each year making less than the last, hiding in the trunks and storage units during the day, racing down desert highways at night with messages and parcels on your passenger seat. It's been boring. It's felt like getting old, trapped in this body that can never age. Well, you're not bored now. You're even breathing again. Short, frightened little breaths as you watch the sky lighten in the east. Nerves you thought extinguished years ago fire up again, making your hands shake. You almost feel alive as you check under the hood. The cable clutch is fucked. No surprise there. Maintenance hasn't been a possibility, let alone a priority. And when you look at the engine, you realize the problems run deeper than one busted cable. You've been ignoring the warning signs, like an old man who keeps coughing and won't go to the doctor. And the engine looks like what you're going to look like in exactly, you check your phone again, 16 minutes. Maybe there's still time. And you look around at the dusty highway, the wasteland that stretches out to the black horizon in every direction, and you try to recall your mortal life. Something you learned when you still drew breath must have had the power to save you here. These are my options here, as this is a, pick your own path adventure. So let's figure out what kind of person we're going to be. First, I want to turn on and start check indicator. Also storyteller mode. I grew up poor working on cars. Let's see if I can get the engine running in a few more minutes. I had a lot of mortal friends. I kept in touch with some. Might have a good idea if I call one. Or at least they can pull up a map on their phones, which can tell me which way to run. I served in the military. In addition to my combat training, I know how to hide and survive in a desert. I got a good education. I haven't let my knowledge stagnate now that I'm dead. I use my phone and some maps to figure out where to go. I think to get stuck in this position as a courier, let's go with A lot of mortal friends who we keep in touch. That could be a Masquerade violation. I might pick the smart one instead. There are a lot of maps in the glove compartment, and through your data connection out here is terrible. You don't use GPS because you don't want to be tracked. You just need to see the maps. From then, you might be able to cobble together a picture of where you are and figure out which way to run. In life, I got a business degree and learned how to act like I come from money. Tried to get through community college with the help of the Army Reserve. I ran out of money, but at least I learned to shoot. I was supposed to study ecology in the Everglades, but I spent 2 years wandering through swamps and racking up debt before I gave up. As a college kid, I understand that deeply. I pursued criminology degree and paid my way by chasing down bail skippers until I ran out of money. Computer science and dropped out, discovered how good I was at computer crime. Ooh. I think for this one, I really like criminology and chasing down bail skippers. It does sound kind of a cool, fun, adventure-y thing. I also love the idea of computer crime. Like, haha, computer crime. Alright, I think I'm gonna go with computer crime just because of how silly it sounds. You dig around the glove compartment, finding only a few maps and an expired Cliff Bar to give you the appearance of life. Then you check under the seat, a broken folding knife, a Michigan ID, someone who sort of looks like you, some ninja rocks for breaking car windows, a rusty Leatherman. Worthless. But if there's one thing you learned about getting into trouble as a kid, it was when to walk away. This situation is fucked, and your car is now a death trap. Rather than wait to burn, you grab the satchel with your deliveries and head away from the highway, looking for anything that might save you from destruction. An old mine shaft, an abandoned shack, anything. The stars to the east are gone, replaced by a blue-purple haze. It's 6:30 a.m. You remember the last time you saw the sun. You were so focused in those days. Life was so clear. You knew what you were going to become. And then you were out of college and looking for work, spending all day on your laptop making calls. You had a job at a call center, another at an Olive Garden, and you did some design work. But you were drowning in debt, desperate to put all your education to work. You remember your last day well. You drove to your call center job, found it boarded up, and a bunch of confused assholes just standing around outside, not knowing what to do. It was around 6, so you watched the sunset illuminate the grimy low-rises and the cash for gold signs before shrugging and getting back in your car. It wouldn't start. So you got out, started wandering around with your phone up, looking for signal, and that's when a shadow detached itself from beneath your car. When you rose again, burning with hunger and sticky with your own blood. Your killer did not call you kindred or K-Knight or a vampire. First you learned about your clan, your lineage, a bloodline that existed since before history, before all cities except one. Your killer said you belonged to, we get to pick. Now, these clans here, I have several of my own favorites. I know Clan Tremere and the Caitiff one, though, are the additional DLC content, and for the sake of this playthrough, I will be eliminating them from ours. But personally, when I beta tested this game, I played as a Caitiff, and it added a little extra challenge, and it was quite fun. I do not see my personal favorite clan on here, Clan Malkavian, so that leaves me to what my friends have often considered me, my real-life clan. For a while, I thought I was, the Toreadors, because I write, and I'm a film major. But recently, my friends have started calling me the Ventru, Clan of Kings, Monarchs of the Night, Masters of Dreadful Mental Powers, and Rulers of the Undead World. And frankly, once you sit around thinking about the marketing process for Amazon and Kohl's, and what they get out of each process between them, and what their agreement is, and you do this for about 20 minutes, your friends are right. You're a Ventru. So for this playthrough, am going to go with Clan Ventru, the Clan of Kings. The Clan of Kings rules from the shadows, controlling modern boardrooms as they once controlled the courts and cathedrals. The mental powers of the Blue Bloods also protect the Masquerade. The disciplines will be dominate, fortitude, presence. Ventru study two distinct paths of mental control. Presence is more subtle, dominate is more direct. Some are also nearly indestructible even when exposed to the banes like fire and sunlight. Clan weakness. Refined palate. Ventru cannot drink bagged or animal blood, and most are restricted to a particular kind of human prey. Now that is a nasty, nasty clan weakness. I've always wondered how he would survive having the Ventru clan flaw, so let's go for it. I regret this. Alrighty. Your sire was a new kind of Ventru, barely a century old and unfettered by tradition. Ellen Olive Crona was an overachiever before that term existed, with a 100-year plan to claim sole sovereignty over a U.S. city. She didn't care which one. Year 82 required 2 child of her own blood. One a reflection of her own talents and ability, the other a complement, with the skill set that would shore up her weaknesses rather than reflect her strengths. You were that second child. When the first child didn't work out, you understood what Olivia Crona did to those who failed her, and you made plans to escape. Despite the loss of her lieutenant, Olivia Crona went ahead with the plan. Contemptuous of the other clans, she whipped the old Prince of Tucson into a murderous frenzy. Together, they began to exterminate Thin Bloods and the Nosferatu, the hideous sewer vampires that lurk beneath most major cities. His cruelty led to the prince's destruction, but not to Olivia Crona's evolution. She barely escaped the burning city. She wanted to take you with her, but you had already disentangled yourself from your increasingly desperate sire. And when Olivia Crona realized you would not follow her into exile, she ordered her ghouls to destroy you. Ghouls. Humans fed on vampire blood, who gain the agelessness, and a little power in exchange for slavish devotion to their masters, were always Olivia Crona's favorite servants. How did I survive them? Tore through them with hired muscle, and my own regular muscle. Olivia Crona taught me how to fight, and I taught myself how to lead from the front. Alrighty, I had already unlocked the mental powers of the Ventru. Between them and my native charm, I just bribed your retainers and sent them back to get rid of Olive Crona. I knew how to set traps. I trapped a room with poisonous gas, which does not affect the dead, and then I just lured them in. I disappeared into the back alleys, relying on a network of criminal contacts aided by my considerable mental powers. Olive Crona messed up, and her retainers got into a high-speed highway chase full of gunfire and smashed cars. My driving and fighting skills kept me alive, and so did my inhuman resilience. I am a courier, and I am driving a car. I think I'm going to go with the driving option, where Olive Crona messed up, and her retainers got into the high-speed highway chase. Maybe that led me to where I am now. The Ventru are famed and feared for their mental powers, but some of them, like you, are also near indestructible. They're vicious, trigger-happy assassins. Olive Crona sent to kill you in Phoenix shot up an RV park and blew the windows out of your car. But you picked up the glass out of your face and peeled out into traffic. You could still look up most of the resulting chase on YouTube. At least no one turned into a wolf or through a dump truck. You outmaneuvered the assassins and left them smashed on the side of the road, escaping Phoenix with your engine smoking and your knuckles tight and bloody around the steering wheel. But Olive Crona had fatally miscalculated, and the public violence turned into a pariah? I'm not sure what that word is. She disappeared, her 100-year plan ruined, and you never saw her again. And after all that, 10 years on these miserable desert highways, scraping by on the charity of your elders as you run their errands, you've lost your edge, clarity of your focus, sacrificing specialization in order to learn trick after trick, in order to survive from night to night. If you're still alive, you'd be middle-aged. The elders of the kindred are lies wrapped in flesh. On death is no promise of immortality. You've seen 100 Canaanites born into the night, only to die a few months later at the hand of hunters or their own kind, or just because they didn't know what time it was. Strange that you're going to die young. The air ripples. It smells like burning metal. You never should have bought a hatchback. Your durability means that you'll take slightly longer to burn unless you can find somewhere to hide. You tell yourself that you're not burning, not yet, and that the smell is just the scent of your fear. It's someone else's blood stimulating sweat on your forehead. It's a familiar smell, actually. Metal, rust, blood. You smell blood. You run towards the smell of blood. The lightening sky reveals an old filling station, faded sign, banging faintly in the slight wind, with the creak of metal located just off an old frontage road. Its windows have been boarded up for years. You don't see blood, and now you can't even smell it, but that doesn't matter. As the first ruby-red light touches the hills, only shelter matters. Maybe you have a chance. Though the station looks abandoned, you see footprints in the sand. A golden eagle sits on the stripped diesel dispenser, watching you with unsettling intensity that sounds like a gangrel. Approaching the main building, looking for a way in, the windows and doors are all boarded up. And then there's a garage door for a loading dock. It seems locked. The eagle spreads its wings and screams. You don't have time for this. The sun will kill you. But first, it will drive you mad. You could feel the beast rising in you. The beast, the untamed monster that lurks inside every vampire, that drives you to acts of depravity and violence. You're losing control. You need to act now. But that eagle seems almost to have been put here to guard this place. Its talons flex. In addition to my inhuman resilience, I can invoke the dreaded magnificence of the Ventru. I just stride forward and let my dread presence scare the eagle away. Or, in addition to great resilience, I have the power to give orders and be obeyed. Go, I tell the eagle. My resilience is incredible, even for a Ventru. I circle the filling station, my discipline and skin like iron, looking for a way inside. I am going to go with the power of dominate, which is going to be, in addition to great resilience, I have the power to give orders and be obeyed. So I will select that. Go away, eagle. Yeah. You're not sure exactly what kind of creature this is, let alone if you can command it, but you cannot let it distract you while you look for a way into the structure. Blood pulses through your skull as you intone a single syllable. The eagle hesitates for only a second, then flaps away. Without the distraction of the eagle, you are able to move quickly around the abandoned station. You run to the north side, which will buy you a few seconds before light destroys you, and there you find a single open window. As smoke starts to escape from your clothes, you wiggle inside, then crawl and kick away from the hole. That is unsettling. A wave of exhaustion hits you as the sun rises fully. The kindred were not meant to remain awake during the daylight hours, and you look around for anywhere safe you might rest. There's an old metal-topped freezer beside a counter here, just big enough to hold you, and sealed against the sunlight. Inching around the shafts of daylight that filter through the open window and gaps in the boards, you wrench the old freezer open. It smells like expired milk, but you can't worry about that now. You drop into the old freezer and pull the lid shut. Then you mentally inventory all the things you don't need to worry about. You do need to worry about. Your ruined car, the ache of hunger in your gums, the smell of fresh blood somewhere in this building, the strange eagle, definitely a gangrel. You may not survive another night, but you did survive this one. You survived the desperate ambition of your sire, Ellen Olive Krona, Then you survived out here in the desert for years, one night at a time. You permit yourself a tight, light smile. You could still make it. You could still find a way out of this. And then the blackness of the day's sleep swallows you. And that will be the end of this chapter. Thank you so much for joining me. Each episode is going to be roughly one chapter, give or take the length of it all. Thank you so much again for joining me. My name is Elise Hawes. If you would like, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, as well as find us on all our social medias. And please, please, please check out the choice of game, Vampire the Masquerade Night Road. It has just recently been released, both for mobile and Steam. I am playing it on the PC computer, but it is certainly available for your devices as well. Again, thank you so much for joining me.